and Gabriel Bortoleto. Gabby, can you share with us what's going on? Or all right, let's get things underway. Max, perhaps we could start with you. So, first race weekend of 2026 done. You went from the back of the field to P6. Just how much potential do you think this year's Red Bull has?
Yeah, I mean, for sure there is a lot of potential. It's just going to depend, of course, on if we can extract that, I guess, throughout the year. The gap, of course, was quite big, and also in the race, I think if I would have started, let's say, a little bit up front, I think the best that I could have done was one spot higher, because we didn't have the pace of the top 4 cars. We also had a lot of degradation and graining. But yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens in the coming races, if we can close that gap a little bit.
Do you think the gap between you and the top 4 cars was track specific to Albert Park? Do you think you'll be closer here?
Impossible to know. I mean, yeah, honestly, it's such a jungle out there at the moment. I think that it's very hard to really know. I mean, I would hope that it gets a bit closer, not even bigger than the gap that it was in Melbourne. But it's clear that at the moment we cannot fight, with those cars.
So does having a sprint weekend so early in the season complicate matters for you?
I guess for everyone. I mean, it's difficult for everyone.
Okay, look, final one from me. You've confirmed that you're doing the Nürburgring 24 hours, a little bit later in the year. Why does this race hold so much interest for you?
Because it's one of the best races in the world. It's one of the best tracks. I mean, honestly, in a GT car, for me, that's like the perfect speed round there. I think if you go anything faster, it can be a bit dangerous in places. But yeah, it's just everything. I mean, I've been watching it, of course, for a long time. I know a lot of my friends, of course, that have been racing in it already. They say it's one of the best things ever. And I like racing other cars as well. So this was basically the first time that, yeah, I could do it proper. So yeah, I'm very excited. To see also how we are going to perform. I mean, it's a very stacked lineup and field in general. So I'm looking forward to it.
Can you imagine doing a demonstration lap in a Formula One car there?
Yeah, I was not allowed. Otherwise, I would have done it already.
You've asked, right? All right, thank you for that, Max. Alex, let's come to you. Now, there were high expectations surrounding Williams this year. Just how much of a shock is your current situation?
Yeah, I think it's not where we want to be. I think as a team, we are disappointed where we've started, but it's just how it goes sometimes. We've got a clear plan to come back. I think the gap to the top of the midfield even is quite large. So we do need to we know where the issues are, and I think it will take a bit of time, maybe a little bit more than we would like, but we have a clear strategy to get back.
And a similar question to the one I asked Max. Do you think the gap was exacerbated in Albert Park? Do you think you'll be closer here?
Truthfully, I think maybe we'll be a bit further away here. I think this kind of track doesn't normally suit us. If you look at last year, we were quite strong in Melbourne. That track normally goes well for us, and when I look at last year, we fell back in China. So I think we still have similar characteristic issues as we'd had last year as well. So this track's quite front limited, and it exposes cars that have a bit of understeer, and I think we'll have that this weekend.
All right. Good luck with that. Thank you, Alex. And Gabby, let's come to you. Points on Audi's debut last weekend. Having had a few days to reflect on that result, can you describe the scale of that achievement?
Yeah, it was a great weekend, I must say. I really didn't expect that. Obviously, coming from Barcelona, shakedown and everything, we had a lot of things to work on. And then Bahrain, obviously, we had a little bit of an understanding where we were standing, more or less. But going to Q3 in our first try, then scoring points, it was something very positive that, I was just extremely happy to be able to achieve that already in our first weekend. Obviously, and as you said as well, tracks change and also, results. So we're going to try our best here and understand actually where we are also standing in different types of tracks.
On a personal level, this is year 2 for you in Formula One. How much more settled do you feel inside the sport now?
Much more, I must say. Like the way I'm dealing with things now, also the understanding about how I want to approach my race weekends, outside of the race weekends, also how I'm working with the team, knowing these people are already for 2 years now, is a completely different thing. I just feel much more relaxed, much more also compromised to the project somehow, that is finally becoming a reality to be Audi. And just probably I'm enjoying much more now than what I was at this moment last year, and hopefully we can keep it going like this.
All right, thank you for that. Let's now open this to the floor. We'll start with the broadcasters. And David, please. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Max, question for you first. I think Isaac Hadj is like the 7th different teammate you've had at Red Bull. You've had a chance to see him now over a race weekend and a pre-season. What would your assessment be of Isaac Hadjar? How good do you think he is, and his future for the sport? Where do you think he could go?
Yeah, good. I mean, he had a very solid first race weekend. Unfortunately, of course, in the race, didn't really get to show that. But I think it was a very good start, for the team. And also, when I had my troubles in qualifying, for him to be up there, that's exactly what we need as a team, So, a good start. So I hope that we can continue that way.
Thank you, Max. Next one. Any more from the broadcasters? Yep.
Question for you three, please. In the beginning of this understanding process of the year, new season, new car, new movement, everything. So is it good? Is it better to have a sprint race here in China already?
Who'd like to start? Gabby, go.
Yeah, it doesn't really, I think, makes a big difference. Still we're going to learn a lot through the weekend. If it was a normal weekend, we would probably just be, testing things in FP1, 2 and 3, and then going to quali with more or less what we think is the best. Here is not going to be different. I don't think we're going to have everything maximized before qualifying. So we're going to be testing things and learning things also in the sprint quali, sprint race. But yeah, I think it's also something that gives a little bit more spiciness, in the weekend to push a bit further and faster.
Yeah, same as Gabby. I think if it happened in Melbourne, I would say maybe not the smartest idea, but this track is a little bit easier with touch wood. It's a bit easier with the deployment side of things, so I don't think it will be as penalising, or lack of track time isn't going to be the end of the world. So yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Max, on a more positive note, I mean, you did come through the field last weekend. Where, had you not had those problems in qualifying, do you think the pace of the car was? How far off? Is it even possible for you to be able to tell how far off the Mercedes or the Ferraris you might have been at the weekend?
No, I said it before, at P5. I think in qualifying, for whatever reason, I guess Ferrari was not where they wanted to be, but it was very clear in the race. There was no chance of us matching that. So P5.
A question to Max too. Max, considering how Mercedes started this season and the good relationship you have with Kimi, do you consider him ready to fight for a world title? I
mean, I would hope so. I want it exciting at the front. So I hope for him that, it is possible. But for sure, Mercedes is in a very strong position for the whole season. And for sure, I hope, that Kimi can be up there. But at the end of the day, to fight for a title, you need to be consistent and always, of course, maximize your results. And that's what we'll find out over time.
Yeah, we've listened to the second part of the previous press conference with Max Verstappen, Gabriel Bortoleto, and Alex Albon. If we need to start with Gabriel Bortoleto, they were struggling like an Alpine in the first part of the press conference. Also, second part, it started in the same way. They were struggling a lot the last year with their car. They were struggling to take some points, to take any points with their car, but I think this season where it started very different for them. and actually they have much more hope than the last year with their car. It seems like with a new brand new name, with the new team principal, with the new engineers in the team, they are having much more better car for this season, and much more better season start than the last year. And actually we're going to see after a couple of races what is going to happen with their car and with their team. But as I said, they had a very good beginning of the season. Alex Albon, maybe for them it's they little bit struggled little bit more than the others for this season start. They had like a very good season and last season, but beginning of the season, the beginning of this season, it was a little bit with much more problems. But let's say maybe they will find with Alex Albon and the other driver any solution to this with Carlos Sainz solution to these problems of their car. And Max Verstappen, as you know, he didn't like this car, he didn't like this era, and he didn't like this power unit, but at the end of the day he must drive this car. And I think no one in Formula One world likes these cars because, as you know, at the straight line they were losing like 40-45 kilometers per hour speed at the end of the straight in Australia. But as you know, at the Chinese Grand Prix, that straight is much more longer than the normal streets. I think the problem will be a little bit much more in here than the Australia. What kind of race, what kind of sprint race, what kind of qualifying we are going to watch? I think it will be very interesting to follow. But definitely FIA needs to replace something to find solution to these engine problems. And as always, just don't forget to like this video, to comment it, and to subscribe to the channel.